Hey guys, I had to learn these three lessons the hard way when uploading videos to YouTube. I have a channel that has over 47,000 subscribers. I have a bunch of other channels, maybe eight of them, that are close to around 1 to 5,000 subscribers. And then I have like four other channels that I'm building from scratch. It's hard managing a lot of channels, but this is kind of what I'm focusing on for my future, and it's a great source of passive income, so that's what I'm working on. These are the three lessons that I wish I had learned earlier when starting, and I'll explain every single one of them. The first one is creating consistent content in the same niche. This kind of screwed me up long term. It kind of caused some poison, if you will, to my channel that is close to 50,000 subs, which is the content that I was posting was not consistent. And when I say consistent, I don't mean on a consistent schedule. I'm talking about the niche of the content. See, I was creating content in different niches, different pieces of content, and unfortunately, because I was talking about different topics, the niche wasn't as hardcore, and it was also sending mixed signals to YouTube. So let's say, for example, let's take niche X, Y, and Z. So three different niches, X, Y, and Z. I was posting all those different types of videos to one channel. That's a problem. And what would happen is when I would upload videos with the X type, people from Y and Z niche didn't find it interesting. When YouTube saw that and they didn't click on the video, yet they saw the impression of the video on their feed or whatever it was, they didn't click. YouTube got the signal, hey, this video's not interesting. And therefore it didn't push it out harder. And I wish I would have, like I said, I wish I would have realized this earlier, but, it's never too late to become better. And, I'm just sharing kind of my thoughts. When YouTube sees that people aren't interested in your videos, it hurts your reach. Right? And it's just as simple as that, simple as it is. The second thing is impressions are not equal. So remember when I just mentioned like three different niches, X, Y, and Z? And when somebody watches a video or they see a video that's related to your content, your video can pop up. That's an impression. Well, impressions are not equal, meaning if somebody is typically used to watching a certain type of content, YouTube knows what they watch. And YouTube puts videos that they would be interested in front of them. If you're getting impressions from people who are not watching your content, that is essentially a non-converted impression, a non-clicked impression, if you will. And remember, an impression is just simply means that your video pops up in front of them, doesn't necessarily mean that they click or don't click. If they don't click, it's non-converted. If they do click, well, the impression converts into a view. And that's the problem, is that if your video is popping up in front of the wrong people, that is a very, very big problem, because not every viewer is created equal in relation to your content. YouTube knows that, let's say, one of your not subscriber, but one of your viewers, right, see your video and they've seen 50 other videos just like it. That's a highly reputable viewer to represent or to take analysis on your video. Meaning when they've seen 50 other videos similar to yours and they watch yours, depending on how they interact with your video, will make or break you. And unfortunately, like I said, I had to learn that the hard way. And had I stuck to the same niche in all my channels, I would not be having some of the slowdowns that I have been dealing with. But once again, you live and you learn. Number 3 is don't share your videos. I know this sounds crazy, but the reason why I say don't share your videos, there's a specific concept of what I mean when I say that. My YouTube videos, for sure, have been shared by other people. That's fine. But when you take your video and you share it to a family friend or somebody at your work or whatever the case may be, and you're showing off your first video, they're going to watch like a few seconds of it. And they're going to click off. That's going to signal to YouTube that, hey, this video is not entertaining and it doesn't have audience retention. The second issue, and this is the main problem with it, is that person that is normally watching other types of content clicks on your video content, YouTube is now drawing some sort of bridge between the two, some sort of similarity. So what happens is people just like that other user who was watching your content that you shared it to, they're going to take your video and get impressions from people who were similar to him, and he's not your ideal audience. And so that's one of the biggest problems, like I said, that I've seen in the long term, which really just, it creates this glass ceiling on your growth. I used to wonder why I was getting like 2, 3, 4,000 views a video, and then all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but over the course of 2 years, the views started to drop, right? It went from 2,000 to 1,000, then barely reaching 800, then 500, then barely reaching 300, and it doesn't make sense. Channels are supposed to grow, but that is, most likely why. Of course, there's other things, but there's a lot of variables, but those variables haven't changed in my circumstance. But these are things, like I said, I had to learn the hard way, unfortunately. And it's just something I had to go through. So now, when I create YouTube channels, I do not share them because I don't want people who are, let's just say, in a business niche, watching videos about World War II, the Cold War, history videos, for example, of a channel that I own, right? Because I do have a channel in the World War II space. We talk about World War II, war strategy, war analysis. So that wouldn't be a channel that I would want people in the business space watching or clicking on or even seeing, because it's going to screw up my retention. It's going to screw up my impressions. It's going to screw up everything in between. So that's not something I want to replicate. These mistakes are mistakes I don't want to keep happening. And that's just all I got to say for that. So these are, like I said, the 3 biggest lessons I learned about the YouTube algorithm. The YouTube algorithm is definitely harsh, but with slow and consistent effort, you can kind of build back up. And that's what I'm consistently working on. So thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon, and peace out. Bye.